Hi everyone, I'm Derek. This is There Will Be Cars, and today I'm here with the 2019 Lexus LC500 Coupe. Now this car has only been out for a couple of years, but Lexus has already revised it for the 2019 model year. They've changed a number of things, including the steering and the ride quality. This particular car that I have, stickers for almost $106,000. It's got a number of options for that price, including 21-inch wheels and the performance package. Part of that performance package is the carbon fiber roof, the variable steering, and the rear wheel steering system. As you can tell, it's a very dramatic, very bold design. So you've got this really dramatic spindle grille, these really cool triple beam LED headlights, and then I especially love these huge two-tone wheels, and then just really dramatic lines. I'm here in Arizona with my girlfriend visiting her family, and her grandmother's 93 years old, and I was telling my girlfriend, you know, when we pull up, she used to work at the Packard factory back in the 40s or 50s, and I told my girlfriend, when we pull up, your grandma's gonna think that we arrived in a spaceship. I'm not nearly her age, but when I look at it, it looks like a spaceship. It's just really stunning, really cool, and one of the great things about this car is that as cool as it looks, it drives just as well. What you see is what you get when you get behind the wheel. You've got, of course, the spindle grille, which Lexus really has made even more dramatic over the years. Got these triple beam LED headlights, these optional 21-inch forged wheels, really dramatic side mirrors, sharply raked roof line, and then as one of the features of the performance package, as I mentioned earlier, is this carbon fiber roof, and then these chrome rails. Really nice use of mixed media, and then these really sleek door handles there. Quick peek of the interior. More bright work, Alcantara. Maybe not the best lighting, but I figured since we were here, give you a peek at it. And you got that panic handle there. Big screen in the middle, analog clock. Another feature of the performance package is these nicely sculpted seats. I mean, they're nice to look at, but they fit very well too. They just seem custom fit to me, at least. I really like the way they feel. And being out here in Arizona, when it's in the upper 80s and 90s, it's nice to know that they're ventilated as well. This is one thing that really helps the dynamics of this car is the steering wheel. That may seem kind of silly, but it looks normal size, but when you're out on the road, it seems to be a little smaller than other steering wheels, and it just makes the car feel sportier, and at speed, it's just the right size, you know, and the turn-in on this car is pretty sharp. For being a, you know, big GT car, turn-in is pretty damn good. Then you got this spoiler in the back. These very eye-catching taillights. These stylish exhaust finishers. And just get this pull out for this nice shot here. One of the best angles for this car. So obviously there's a lot of common DNA between the new LS and the LC Coupe, but this is one of the biggest differences right here. Even though there's an LS 500 and an LC 500, those numbers mean two different things depending on which model you're talking about. So of course in the LS 500 it's a twin turbo V6, but in the LC it's an honest to goodness naturally aspirated 5-liter V8. Pumps out 471 horsepower, 389 pound-feet of torque, and it's definitely got the sound to go with it. Depending on which drive mode I have it in, it can sound kind of it can sound a little sleepy like a huge muscle car's V8. And then in other modes and at different throttle levels,
it sounds a lot sharper and a lot more aggressive. So when I arranged to have this car waiting for us at the airport, I had some concerns about its trunk size. I told my girlfriend that we would need to pack light, so we shared a suitcase, and then I brought my briefcase, my camera bag, and then she brought a bag as well, a duffel bag. And even with that, I thought, oh, is it all going to fit in here? It depends on the dimensions of the trunk. I was pleasantly surprised to discover that we were able to fit all of that in here with room to spare. So given that and just how comfortable and how quiet it is, especially when I have the drive mode set to comfort, this is just a remarkable car. It's definitely got a sporty side, but it also is very capable as a long distance cruiser.
The first time I drove the LC, it was a hybrid about a year or two ago. Fell in love with that one. Even though I didn't have the most power or the most sound, I fell in love with the dynamics of it and just how I could feel everything working together. Everything just felt really balanced and organic, which is really hard to say for such a modern, technologically advanced machine. And I'm happy to say I'm getting much of the same feeling out of this LC 500. Of course, the 500 means that it's got a 5-liter V8, naturally aspirated, 471 horsepower. Quite a different formula, but a lot of the elements from the LC 500H are in this car. So right now we're just cruising around suburban streets. I've got it in comfort mode, which is well named because it really is comfortable. I mean, you think about it like this powerful 2-door swoopy coupe, you know, you would think like, oh, it looks really aggressive and really out there, but in comfort mode, it rides like you would expect any Lexus sedan to ride. And yeah, just nice and relaxed. It's very quiet. And then right here, you've got these LFA inspired controls and gauges. And I gotta be honest with you, like, in terms of design, they look kind of weird because they look like these kind of stubby, like the things you see on the top of a giraffe's head, like horns, I guess, if you will. But they're easy to reach. They put a lot of the controls you would want right within your reach, nice and easy to access on the fly. And so, yeah, right now I've got it in comfort mode. I push this, goes to normal, and then switch it up to sport and sport plus. And yeah, you got that center gauge right there, and then you can change the readout. Pretty cool, you know, nice and easy to read. Gives you all the information you need immediately. And then this is kind of neat. You got the gear position indicator right there for the 10-speed automatic. And yeah, just taking a look around the interior, it's got a certain drama to it, which fits because the outside is very dramatic. But yeah, the interior has got a lot of that sense of drama. Like, I know it's a weird thing, but these door handles, they look like they're out of a modern furniture store. And in most cars, they have a surround to them. They have like a little cup that they fit in. But Lexus, they just leave it like right there as it is, you know, so it makes it even more eye-catching. Then you got this nice metallic line that kind of guides your eye forward, and then this wide flat display in the middle here, and an analog clock, which, you know, a lot of manufacturers put analog clocks in their cars, and it's a cool touch. I mean, it's a little, you know, superfluous, but I feel like if a company is going to put an analog clock in an interior of a car, put it in a place where you can actually see it. Because there's one manufacturer out there, they do that, but in certain models that I've been in, it's like it's so low mounted that you can't see it. It's kind of goes to waste, but you know, you can definitely see that here. And then you got this stubby gear shift and then a parking button. It's a bit convoluted in terms of layout. I mean, it's different. It's not the usual, you know, front to back. There's, you know, some angles in here. So it makes it a little special. It's not necessary, but it makes it a little a little more special, if you will. And then this is one of my favorite features, is the auto hold. So when you're at a stoplight, you just have that engaged, and once you fully depress the pedal, holds the brake for you. So, you know, it's a small little touch, but it makes it a lot more comfortable. The catch with this system, though, is when you put it in reverse, it constantly bings at you. It, if I remember correctly, the last Prius I was in did that. So it's a sort of family resemblance, but not in the best way. It's kind of annoying. And then you got this front cup holder, which, you know, has come in handy. Been cruising around. And then very limited real estate for the HVAC controls here. I really wish they had found a way to include a control for the HVAC fan split, or if not that, you know, the heated and ventilated seat controls, but you have to dive through the menu to get to those. Okay, so I'm here at South Mountain, and I've been looking for curvy roads to take the LC500 on, and it seems like in the area that I'm at, the closest ones are, you know, 200 miles away or further. So I heard about South Mountain, and definitely looks cool. There are some winding, twisty roads, but the catch is that the speed limit is 25 miles an hour. So I'm gonna try to abide by that. I don't wanna tear through here and attract unwanted attention, but so I'll do my best to give you an idea of how the car handles on these winding roads. So right now I've just got it in Sport S, and you know, I'll start from the normal mode, and it's just basic setting. The LC500 has got great reflexes. The steering weight is just right. In fact, the way this car steers kind of reminds me of the Toyota 8.6. It's not quite as magical and perfect as the steering in that car, but there's something to the weighting that reminds me of the 8.6. For a car of this size and a car that's not as lean and focused as the 8.6, it steers incredibly well. I just like the way it's weighted. It feels natural, feels right. So much about this car feels right. The suspension, the steering, the progressiveness of the brake pedal, just all of the reflexes. And going from, let's say, comfort mode to normal mode to Sport S to Sport S Plus, you can really tell a difference. I mean, the car does transform more than other cars that I've driven that have different drive modes. I can definitely tell the difference in its dynamics and the way all of its various systems seem to respond. Now in Sport S, obviously the throttle response is sharper. Steering takes on a different feel. I just wish I could really tear up here. But for what I would categorize as a grand touring car, this does really well. It definitely has a sporty side to it, but when you want it to be quiet and comfortable and soothing and relaxing, it can be. You just throw it into comfort mode and there you go. But the Sport S Plus, you know, it's more vocal. It gives you even better feel. And yeah, the best part I think about that is the sound. You know, it sounds even better. Hi everyone. So it got to the point out on the road through the South Mountain that I needed to pay more attention to my driving, drive with both hands, so I couldn't hold the camera at the same time. I didn't have my mount with me. Sorry about that, but yeah, wound my way up there, and in Sport S, the steering had a nice lightness to it, still great feel, plenty of power, and some really tight compact turns up there. And then on the way down, I put it in Sport S Plus, the most aggressive setting, the most vocal. And something that really stood out to me when I had it in that mode was the car seemed to grow teeth. It seemed to bite into the road harder. Like I was able to feel more of it. And it wasn't just because the suspension was you know, tighter and tauter. There's something else to the car when I had it in that mode, and just it already had great feel even in normal mode, but in Sport S Plus that level of feel just got even higher. It was surprising, to tell you the truth. Okay, so I've got to be honest with you. I'm having a hard time finding things to dislike about the LC500. It's comfortable, it sounds great. This is one of just a little thing that I think could be improved. And like I said, it's a very little thing, it's minor. So right here, you push that down, you slide it back, right? You've got this storage area and you could use this spot as a cup holder, that's great. But if you want to use the main storage compartment in the middle here, you can't just pull a latch and fold it back to where both you and the passenger could use it. It is overly driver-centric. So fold it up that way, and you've got, you know, USB connectors there, everything. That's nice, so I can charge my phone there. But every time I have to open that, and, you know, my girlfriend's sitting next to me, I have to, you know, ask her, oh, excuse me, can you move your elbow? It's a little awkward, you know, and she can't use it easily, at least, you know, because it doesn't fold toward me. You know, it's a very one-way system, and yeah, I mean, I appreciate the easy access for me, but I think overall it'd just be better if it was hinged in a way that both the driver and the front passenger could use it. The infotainment interface has kind of grown on me. Like anything, you know, the more you use it, the more familiar you get with it, the easier it is. And then you've got this, you know, trackpad and everything. Not my favorite system. It always is kind of silly to me to have a big screen in the middle that doesn't function as a touch screen. Now you could argue, oh, well, you know, if you're reaching over to touch it, you know, you're going to be distracted. But if I'm trying to do something on the fly with this touchpad, I'm looking up here, but I'm fumbling down here, and I'm trying to get the icon, the cursor, to go to a certain spot on the screen, which is, you know, almost as distracting, if not more distracting, because there's this separation. You know, at least with the touch screen, your hand and your eyes go to the same place, but not here. That's split up. So in a way, it's more mentally taxing, especially when you're, you know, at highway speeds. These controls right here, they you know, you get this stubby little nub right there, and you know, I've gotten more familiar with it, and everything is tightly clustered, which is great. But overall, I've experienced better interfaces. This is not one of my favorites. It's improved in my eyes over the course of time that I've been with this car, but ultimately it's still not one of my favorite setups. So that's just about it for me in my time with the LC500. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and if you have, feel free to like this video, comment, and subscribe to There Will Be Cars. I'd really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.